I'd love to start this time talking about maybe some research to consider for parents who still may not be convinced to get out of their comfort zones to connect with others, especially in light of, the COVID restrictions and concerns. What do you have to share with us on that?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of research on learning outside and then learning with other people. I gave a talk about socialization specifically at a recent virtual conference. Um, Due to COVID,
Yeah.
everything's kind
Mm-hmm. It's all
of
online. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and there's advantage to that in the long run. We'll see,
Yeah.
um, but there is a lot of research about the importance of going outside and learning outside and learning with other people outside. And the big one that comes up a lot of the time, first off, is just the fact that your body needs that sunlight to produce
Yes.
vitamin D, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of advantages, from a physical standpoint, because your body requires that for a lot of processes like bone
Mm-hmm.
development,
Yeah.
immune system health, and those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
So just getting out and just being in the sunlight um, can be advantageous.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, another thing is exercise. For your
Mm.
physical well-being. Getting out and just having the kids run around for long periods of
Mm-hmm.
time. It's easy to do, and gets them out there for long periods of time, exploring, and you don't have to focus on exercise. It's just kind of a byproduct of getting them outside.
Mm-hmm.
Another big one I think is around unstructured play, and you can
Mm.
do that inside, but it's really there's a lot of advantage to doing it outdoors. Both the fact that there's less rules because there's
Yeah.
not as many things you're going
Uh-huh.
to break.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That's
there's
very
there's more
true.
space. Was that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I said that's so true. Yes, we have
Yeah, I
unless we
think
have a
that.
padded room or some kind of like sensory room with our kids can just kind of bounce off the walls. It makes it difficult in your living space to do
Yeah,
those
and
types of activities.
that reminds me. My wife sent me a saying the other day, and I don't know where it's from, but it said, they can't be bouncing off the walls if you take the walls away. And
Oh,
so,
uh-huh. That's very true.
so I thought that was a really nice articulation
Uh-huh.
of that. So, but yeah, that unstructured play is really really good for a whole range of
Mm-hmm.
reasons. Especially in the early years, but all the way up through adolescence, helps to develop self-regulation,
Mm-hmm.
planning and prioritization skills, troubleshooting in different situations, and
Right. Mm-hmm.
this will kind of all be lumped under this umbrella of that is known as executive functioning skills.
Yes.
And
Mm-hmm.
and so if anyone's not familiar, that's kind of often described as like the air traffic controller of the brain. It takes
Mm-hmm.
in
That's a good.
information, it figures
Yep.
out what other information has to be taken from your memory and from your knowledge to adapt to that situation, and then
Mm-hmm.
figure out how to deal and how to negotiate with this. And
Right.
so that keeps on developing for a lot of years, and that unstructured play provides a huge advantage to the
Mm-hmm.
development of that system. Um, so that's a big one that gets pointed to a lot as well.
Mm-hmm.
Then risk taking, and risk is something we kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, but
Mm-hmm.
it helps to stretch people beyond their comfort zone, and
Mm-hmm.
stretching beyond your comfort zone means you're learning new things.
Uh-huh.
That's like a good slight discomfort range,
Mm-hmm.
and if you can actually get beyond that and accomplish whatever your goal is, that can help provide that self confidence, and
Right.
so we can get all those things from just learning to manage risk
Mm.
and figure out how to deal with that and negotiate those situations.
Good
And
point.
then specifically in the science realm, I think if if we think about science as the study of the physical world, then
Mm-hmm.
it makes sense to get out and explore and to
Yeah.
develop a relationship with the physical world.
Mm-hmm.
You can only get so much by reading about things, I think that's an important aspect. But then actually going out and physically seeing them, that provides a very different experience, and something that, if you really want to develop um, a lifelong love of the outdoors, you really need to create that relationship.